In the beginning, there was no form, no substance, no shape to the universe, only the deep silence of possibility. Out of this stillness came the first sound, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. With a word, worlds leapt into being. With a decree, the heavens stretched wide, the oceans were gathered, the stars were hung in their appointed places. Pause, and let this truth breathe inside you. Creation did not begin with matter. It began with a word. Every seed of life was called forth not by labor, not by struggle, not by force, but by the power of divine speech. This is the secret rhythm woven into existence itself. What is spoken becomes. The word is the brushstroke of the infinite upon the canvas of the void. Now let us bring this great mystery close nearer than breath. For the same divine law that echoed across eternity dwells in you. Every syllable that passes your lips is more than communication. It is creation. Consider the solemn strike of a judge's gavel. Once it falls, the matter is settled. There is no debate, no reversal, no lingering uncertainty. The judgment has been rendered, the decree has gone forth. So it is with your words. Each sentence is a gavel striking against the invisible fabric of your life, setting into motion forces that cannot be recalled. Think for a moment, what have you been decreeing unconsciously? What judgments have you passed against your own abundance, your health, your destiny? How many times has the gavel struck with the phrase, "I can't, I'll never, it's too hard, I am broke, I am sick"? Do you see? These are not idle phrases. They are rulings binding contracts signed with the ink of your own tongue. Pause here. Let this realization not weigh you with regret, but awaken you with possibility. For if words can imprison, then words can also liberate. If your past decrees have woven webs of lack, then your present decrees can tear them apart and set you free. Imagine a seed planted in soil. You do not see the roots spreading beneath the earth, yet they are there drawing nourishment, preparing for the stem to rise. So it is with your words. Every utterance is a seed sown into the garden of your life. Some grow into weeds of despair, others blossom into flowers of joy. The soil never refuses a seed. The only question is, what have you been planting? Now shift your gaze to the truth. You are not a helpless speaker of random sentences. You are a divine co-creator entrusted with the very same power that shaped galaxies. Your mouth is not merely for conversation, it is the altar of creation, the holy place where spirit takes form. Take a breath. Place your hand upon your chest and feel the rise and fall of your own being. Whisper softly, "My word is law unto my life. What I speak, I create." Let the sound of your voice remind you that your decree carries weight in the unseen. Your words are not whispers lost in the wind. They are commands heard by the infinite, recorded in the blueprint of your destiny. And now, I ask you gently, as one awakening from sleep, what will you decree from this moment forward? Will you continue to strike the gavel of limitation, or will you dare to declare light abundance, health joy? For even now, the law waits upon your lips. Pause. This truth is not meant to frighten you, but to empower you. For you are not at the mercy of fate, you are at the threshold of mastery. Begin small. Begin with one declaration spoken with faith. For as surely as God said, "Let there be light," and it was so too shall your decree call forth its likeness. Remember, every word you speak is a seed, a contract, a ruling, a decree. You are never merely speaking, you are creating. And the universe is always listening. So speak, child of abundance. Speak as one who knows their authority. Speak as one seated upon the throne of their own destiny. For your voice is the voice of creation. Pause. If these words awaken something within you, if they remind you of the power you have always carried, then I invite you to stay with this journey. Subscribe so you may continue to walk with us in the unfolding of this divine mystery. Support this channel so we may continue to weave these words of peace, power, and restoration, and help you rest and recharge in the presence of truth. The word has gone forth. The awakening has begun. There is a story often told of a man who lived his days in quiet poverty. His clothes were worn thin, his meals were meager, and his nights were filled with worry about tomorrow. Unknown to him, however, he was the rightful heir of a vast fortune. His name had been written long ago into the will of a wealthy relative, and a treasury overflowing with gold jewels and lands waited for his claim. Yet because he did not know, he lived as though he owned nothing. One day, a messenger arrived carrying the long-forgotten document. The seal was broken, the truth was revealed, and in a moment, the man's life was transformed. He had not earned the wealth through toil. He had not won it through competition. It was his by inheritance, waiting only for his recognition. Pause and let the light of this parable dawn within you. So it is with you. Wealth is not something to be earned by the sweat of your brow alone. Wealth is not a prize that only the clever or fortunate may claim. Wealth is your inheritance. Long before you drew your first breath, the infinite inscribed your name upon the treasury of abundance. You were born into a universe overflowing with provision, a cosmos where every bird is fed, every flower is clothed, every river flows without labor. And just as the poor man was an heir, yet lived as a beggar until he discovered the truth, so too do many lives surrounded by invisible riches, unaware of their birthright. What is this inheritance? It is not merely coins or currency. It is the eternal supply of every good and perfect gift. It is the storehouse of health, love, creativity, opportunity, and peace. The vaults of heaven overflow with your portion, waiting not to be manufactured, but to be claimed. And how is it claimed? Not through struggle, but through speech. For your inheritance is spiritual, and the key to unlock it is the spoken word. Each decree you make is like signing the document, stamping the seal, presenting your rightful claim before the court of heaven. When you say, "I am wealthy," you are not inventing a lie. You are recognizing a truth long hidden. You are acknowledging what has always been yours. Pause here. Imagine a great vault standing before you, its door engraved with your name. Within are treasures beyond measure, opportunities, ideas, resources, allies, health, joy, freedom. You place your hand upon the door, and it recognizes the vibration of your voice. Only one key will open it, your decree. Whisper now, softly but firmly, "I am the heir of abundance. My inheritance is released." Did you feel the shift? That whisper was not empty sound. It was the turning of the key in the lock. For speech is not mere communication. It is spiritual authorization. And yet, how many go without? Not because the inheritance is absent, but because they refuse to claim it. They speak instead, "I am poor. I can't afford it. Wealth is for others, not for me." These are false decrees, denials of the truth, signatures of disinheritance. But hear me now, no matter how many times you have signed away your abundance with words of lack, the inheritance has never been revoked. It waits still patient as eternity until your decree aligns with the truth. Pause. You are not a beggar at the door of life pleading for crumbs. You are an heir walking into your rightful estate. Your Father, Mother, God is not stingy, not withholding, not reluctant. The infinite delights in giving, for creation itself was an act of lavish generosity. Look at the stars spread like diamonds across the night sky. Look at the endless waves upon the sea. Look at the forests that breathe without ceasing. Is this not wealth? And if the universe provides so richly for the lilies and the sparrows, how much more for you? Take this truth into your spirit. Wealth is not outside you, chasing after you to be grasped and captured. Wealth is within you, unfolding from your divine inheritance, waiting only for your decree. Pause. There is power in the words you choose this very day. When you rise each morning, you may continue to say, I have not, I lack, I cannot, and the invisible vault remains shut. Or you may lift your voice and declare, I am the heir of boundless provision. Wealth flows to me. My inheritance is revealed. Then the lock turns and doors swing wide. Let this revelation not be a fleeting thought, but a living practice. Begin to see yourself as the forgotten heir rediscovering their treasure. Walk through your day with the quiet dignity of one who knows their portion is secure. Refuse to speak words of poverty, for they are not yours. Claim instead the language of inheritance. I am supplied. I am prospered. I am free. Pause. Your wealth is spiritual, first manifesting in form as surely as seed becomes harvest. Do not be anxious for the manner in which it appears. Trust the law. Trust the decree. Trust that what is yours by inheritance must find its way into expression. The vault is already open, the abundance already flowing. Your task is simple: to speak it to, believe it, to walk in it. You are not striving to create something from nothing. You are remembering what has always been yours. You are the heir of an infinite supply. Say it once more aloud if you can. I am the heir of abundance. My inheritance is released. Pause. And now rest in this truth. Wealth is not a faraway dream. It is your eternal inheritance. It is already yours. There is a hidden power in the everyday phrases spoken without thought. Words that seem harmless, words that pass through the lips like shadows, yet they bind the speaker in invisible chains. How many times have you heard someone say, I can't afford it? Perhaps you have spoken it yourself. That single sentence, uttered again and again, becomes more than a passing thought. It becomes a decree. And as every decree is law, the universe aligns itself with the judgment. Doors that could have opened remain closed. Opportunities that could have been offered pass by, and provision that was waiting quietly steps aside. The person continues to live in the reality they themselves have spoken into being. Pause here. Do not let this truth condemn you, but allow it to awaken you. For once, you see the pattern you hold, the power to break it. Think of words as contracts. Each I can't, I'll never, or that's impossible is a signature inked upon the document of your life. These contracts are binding only because you continue to renew them with repetition. But just as any contract can be canceled, so too can these false decrees be revoked. Imagine yourself seated at a great desk in a court of spirit. Before you lies a pile of old agreements. I am always broke. Money slips through my fingers. I'm not the kind of person who gets ahead. I was born into lack, and I'll always live in lack. Each one signed and sealed by your own words. Do you feel the weight of them? Now see your hand holding a pen of light. With a single stroke, you may write across every contract, canceled. Pause. This act is not imagination, it is demonstration. For as soon as you say, I revoke every false decree I have spoken, I cancel every word of lack. I dissolve every binding of poverty. I am free, the old contracts lose their hold. The law responds instantly. The gavel falls again, but this time in your favor. Consider the story of a woman named Anna. She had lived her entire adult life under the shadow of lack. Every payday she would sigh, it's never enough. Every bill she would groan, I can't catch up. And life echoed back her words faithfully, never enough, never caught up. One evening, weary of the cycle, she heard the truth. Her words were her world. With trembling voice, she began to reverse her decrees. She said aloud, every need I have is met. I walk in abundance. Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. At first it felt strange, even foolish, as though she were speaking into emptiness. Yet she continued. She canceled the old contracts day by day and signed new ones with every affirmation. Within months, doors she never imagined began to open. A new job offer appeared. Debts she thought permanent were forgiven. Unexpected provision arrived from places she had never considered. Anna had not changed the world around her by force. She had changed her world by decree. Pause. The false decrees that bind you are not your truth. They are agreements you once made in ignorance, but ignorance is not destiny. At any moment, you may choose to revoke them. You may stand in the court of your own being and declare every word of lack I have spoken is dissolved. I cancel every false decree. I write new words upon the scroll of my life. I am wealthy. I am free. I am supplied. Do you see the shift? The moment you stop agreeing with lack loses its authority. The contract requires your signature. Without it, it is powerless. Pause. Now let us turn this into practice. Close your eyes if you are able, and bring to mind the most common phrases you have spoken in the past about money, health, or success. Perhaps it was, I'll never get out of debt, or I can't do that, or I always struggle. See those words written before you. One by one, take your pen of light and strike them through. Speak aloud, canceled, dissolved, revoked. Now write in their place the decree of truth. I walk in abundance. I am able. I thrive. I am wealthy in every way. Each affirmation is a new contract, a new agreement signed in the court of the infinite. Pause. It may feel strange at first, like wearing new garments, but do not be discouraged. Continue to wear them until they fit comfortably, until they feel like your own skin. For they are your own, they are your true inheritance. Hear this clearly, your words are never neutral. They either bind you or free you. They either diminish or expand you. Every phrase carries weight in the unseen shaping substance, drawing to you experiences that mirror your decree. So ask yourself, what contracts will you write today? Will you continue to sign agreements with lack, or will you cancel them and step boldly into wealth? Pause. I tell you this with love, you are not bound by your past words. Every decree can be broken. Every false agreement can be revoked. You are free to begin anew this very moment. Say it with me now. If you are willing, I revoke every false decree of lack. I cancel every contract of poverty. I declare now I am wealthy, I am free, I am supplied. Feel the authority in your own voice. This is not wishful thinking, it is law. It is decree. And the universe responds. Pause. The time of bondage is over. The false decrees are broken. The pen of light is in your hand. Speak boldly, for your word is law. When Moses stood before the burning bush, trembling at the call of destiny, he asked, "When I go to the children of Israel, and they ask me who sent you, what shall I say unto them?" And the voice of the Eternal answered, "I am that I am. Tell them I am has sent you." Pause. Here, hidden in plain sight, is the most sacred truth of identity. I am is the name of God. It is the name of being itself. It is the eternal presence declaring existence. Every time you say I am, you are invoking the holy name. Every word you attach to I am becomes a decree, a garment you clothe yourself in, a reality you step into. Consider the weight of this. When you say I am tired, you are not merely describing a passing state. You are clothing yourself in weariness. When you say I am poor, you are not simply stating a condition, you are invoking poverty as part of your very identity. The universe hears your decree and shapes itself to reflect it. Pause. Identity is the root of experience. You do not live beyond your I am. You may strive, labor, and chase after abundance. But if your inner decree is, I am lacking, then lack will follow you like a shadow. You may attempt to grasp wealth, but if you secretly affirm, I am not the kind of person who prospers, your very identity will repel it. Here lies the secret. Wealth is not something to chase. Wealth is something to be. It begins not with possession, but with identification. When you declare, I am wealth, you align yourself with the vibration of abundance itself. You stop struggling as an outsider trying to get in, and you recognize that you are already inside, that you are the doorway through which wealth expresses. Pause. Let us test this truth together. Place your hand gently upon your heart. Feel its steady rhythm, the eternal drumbeat of life itself. Whisper softly, but with certainty, I am wealth. Say it again, more firmly, I am wealth. Now once more with power, I am wealth. Pause. Do you feel the shift? Something within you stirs at those words, as though your very cells lean toward the truth. For your being knows this declaration is not a lie, it is a remembrance. You are not adding something foreign to yourself. You are uncovering what was hidden. Imagine standing before a mirror. Look into your own eyes and speak, I am wealth. At first, the old agreements may resist. A voice may whisper, that's not true. Look at your bank account. Look at your struggles. But remember, those are the echoes of false decrees, the remnants of contracts already canceled. They hold no power unless you renew them. Ignore their protest. Persist in your declaration, for identity is not shaped by evidence. Evidence is shaped by identity. The outer world rearranges itself to mirror the I am spoken within. Pause. Think of a tree. Its fruit always reveals its root. You cannot plant an apple tree and expect oranges. So too with your identity. If the root of your being says I am poor, the fruit of your life will reflect poverty. But if the root is transformed, if you declare I am wealth, then the fruit must follow. It is law. It cannot be otherwise. Pause. I invite you now into a layering of declaration, a slow rhythm that sinks deep into your spirit. With each repetition, feel the words settle further into your identity until they are no longer something you say, but something you are. Whisper, I am wealth. Say it again, I am wealth. Stronger now, I am wealth. Pause. I am wealth in thought. I am wealth in word. I am wealth in action. I am wealth in being. Pause. Each repetition is a brushstroke painting your new self-image. Each pause allows the declaration to root deeper. This is not mere affirmation, it is transfiguration. You are reshaping the very identity from which your life flows. Pause. Some may say, but I don't see wealth yet. Shouldn't I wait until it arrives before I call myself wealthy? No. That is the great reversal. The law is not see it, then say it. The law is say it, and then see it. For the unseen precedes the seen, and identity precedes manifestation. When the farmer plants a seed, he does not wait until the fruit appears before he calls it an apple tree. He names it from the beginning, knowing the fruit is certain. So too with you. Declare your identity now before the evidence, and the evidence will surely come. Pause. Say it once more, I am wealth. Feel it as truth. Let it echo in your bones. Let it shape your posture, your breath, your gaze. Walk as one who knows. For the universe bends to the identity you embrace. Pause. This is the great secret Moses carried down the mountain, the secret of I am. You have spoken it 1,000 times without knowing its power. Now you know. Never again attach words of lack to the holy name. Never again clothe yourself in garments of poverty. Speak instead your true identity. I am wealth. Pause. And if this shift resonates within you, if you feel the stirring of your new identity rising, I invite you to seal it. Declare it boldly, not only in your heart, but in writing and action in community. Type the words, I am wealth. Let it be your public decree, your signature upon the scroll of destiny. For each time you affirm it, the law responds, and your world reshapes itself to match your identity. Pause. You are not seeking wealth. You are not chasing wealth. You are wealth. And as you live in this truth, abundance must appear as surely as dawn follows night. Say it once more and let it ring as the final seal upon this moment, I am wealth. There's a certain kind of story that touches the heart more deeply than teachings alone. A story that begins in lack, walks through the valley of need, but rises into the dawn of provision, all because of a spoken word. For the law of the decree is not theory, it is life, and life has a way of testifying to its own truth. Let me tell you of a man named Samuel. For many years, Samuel lived paycheck to paycheck, carrying the silent fear that one unexpected bill could unravel everything. He often said to his friends, I never have enough. I'm always behind. And true to his words, lack shadowed his every step. But one evening, weary of despair, he stumbled upon the truth. Words are seeds, and he had been planted thorns. That night, with trembling lips, he spoke differently for the first time. He said, I walk in abundance. My provision flows now. At first it felt foolish, even dishonest. His bank account said otherwise. His cupboard said otherwise. Yet he persisted. Morning and night, he declared, I am provided for. I am wealthy. Supply flows to me. Within weeks, small shifts began. A debt he had forgotten was forgiven. A neighbor offered him part-time work that fit perfectly into his schedule. Soon after, he received an unexpected refund in the mail. It was not chance. It was law. Samuel had rewritten his decree, and life aligned to match. Pause. Now listen to the story of Maria. She was a single mother, her heart heavy with the responsibility of raising 2 children alone. The refrigerator often stood nearly empty, and she carried the ache of telling her children not today when they asked for simple treats. Maria's tongue often repeated, we can't afford it. But one morning, as she prayed for strength, she felt a whisper within, change your decree. She stood before the mirror and spoke words she had never dared to utter. My children and I are blessed. We live in divine abundance. Every need is met. She repeated it daily, sometimes through tears, sometimes against the evidence of her circumstances. Yet the words began to change her atmosphere. Soon, a community program she had never heard of offered her fresh groceries weekly. Then, a promotion came at work. Unexpectedly, her sister, who had been distant for years, called and offered support. Maria's children no longer asked in vain. The miracle was not random. It was the law of the spoken word. Pause. Perhaps you wonder, can it really be so simple? Can speech alone open the doors of provision? Yes, beloved, for speech is not alone. Speech is the key to the vault of spiritual inheritance. When you speak in alignment with truth, the universe responds. Consider also the story of Jonathan, a young artist who longed to live by his craft but was bound by fear. He often said, "No one will ever pay me for my work. I'll always have to settle." And so it was. He worked jobs he hated while his art gathered dust. One day, weary of this cycle, he learned of the law of decree. For the first time, he dared to speak. "I am a successful artist. My work is valued. Wealth flows through my creativity." He repeated it daily, though doubt gnawed at him. Within months, a friend shared his artwork online. Soon after, a gallery reached out, offering to showcase his pieces. Commissions began to arrive. Jonathan's life was transformed not by luck, but by the shift of his decree. Pause. These stories are not isolated. They are the living testimony of a universal law. When lack is spoken, lack appears. When abundance is spoken, abundance flows. The word is never idle, it is always creating. And so I ask you, what story will you write with your words? Pause. Perhaps you stand now in the shadow of Samuel, staring at bills with dread. Or perhaps, like Maria, you feel the ache of wanting more for your family. Or perhaps, like Jonathan, you hold dreams locked away by fear. Hear this clearly. You are not bound to repeat these stories of lack. You may at this very moment begin to speak a new story of provision. Say it softly now, even if your voice trembles. "I am provided for. Supply flows to me in expected and unexpected ways." Say it again with strength. "I walk in abundance. My needs are met. My provision is sure." Pause. Feel the weight of those words. They are not empty. They are living decrees, seeds planted in the soil of your future. Every person who ever shifted from lack to abundance began with a word. The evidence did not come first. The decree came first, and the evidence followed faithfully. Pause. Let me offer one final story. Elijah, a man of faith, once stood before a widow in a time of famine. She had only a handful of meal and a little oil, left enough for one last meal for herself and her son. She said, "After this we shall eat and die." It was her decree. But Elijah spoke a new decree over her life. "The barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail." And so it was. Day after day, the flour did not run out. The oil did not diminish. The decree sustained them. So it is with you. Whatever famine you face, whatever lack seems to threaten, one decree can open the storehouse of heaven. Pause. The law does not play favorites. It does not withhold. It simply reflects the decree. Speak lack, and lack obeys. Speak abundance, and abundance obeys. So now let your story be written. Speak with me. "I am supplied. I am abundant. I am provided for richly and fully. My provision flows now." Pause. The stories of Samuel, Maria, Jonathan, and the widow are not separate from you. They are mirrors showing you what is possible when you shift your decree. Your story, too, is waiting to be told, one of spoken provision, one of abundance revealed. Pause. The law is certain. The decree is yours to give. Speak now, and your story begins. Beloved, I want you to pause for a moment and look at your life as though it were connected to an invisible warehouse, a storehouse vast beyond imagination. Not a warehouse of concrete and steel, but of light and spirit. In this warehouse exists every provision you will ever need, already created, already waiting. Florence Scovel Shinn called this the supply in the invisible. Scripture calls it the storehouse of heaven. I want you to think of it in modern terms, an Amazon fulfillment center. Imagine rows and rows of shelves stocked with everything you could desire. Money opportunities, clients, contracts, peace of mind, debt cancellation, a dream home, all of it is already there. Here is the key: the items do not move until the order is placed. Amazon doesn't send you a package until you click Buy Now. Heaven operates the same way. The provision exists, but your decree, your spoken word, is the order form that releases it from the invisible shelf into your visible life. If you simply say, I want more money, that is too vague. It's like mailing a letter without an address. It floats around, but never reaches you. But if you decree, I call $5,000 for rent and bills this month, that is like putting a precise address on the package. The angels of supply know exactly where to deliver. Florence Shinn said, your word is your wand. Every time you speak with clarity, the warehouse is instructed. Let me give you an example. A woman once came to me in distress. Her rent was due in 3 days, and she had no idea how she would pay. I told her, you must call your supply specifically. Say, I call $1,200 to appear for my rent paid in full and on time. Speak it as already arriving. She looked at me skeptically, but she did it. She repeated it aloud over and over every time fear whispered. The next morning, she opened her email to find that an old client had sent a large payment money she had long forgotten. The exact $1,200, arriving one day before the deadline. You see, the money was already in the warehouse. Her decree summoned it. I want you to feel the rhythm of this truth. Your need already has a supply. Your decree is the unlocking code. Fulfillment often comes suddenly, as though the heavens throw open a gate. Think of it like tracking a package online. For days, it may say, order received. Processing. You see nothing on your doorstep, but then suddenly a truck pulls up and the package is delivered. Heaven works the same way. The decree sets things in motion in the unseen. And then suddenly, there is a knock at the door, an unexpected call, a miraculous timing. On-camera exercise, writing the order. Form. Right now, I want you to take a piece of paper or your journal. Write this sentence in your own hand. I call $10,000 to arrive before September 30th in perfect timing through perfect channels for the highest good of all concerned. Do not just think it, write it. Because writing is another form of decree, it stamps your order form with clarity. Now say it aloud with me. I call $10,000 to arrive before September 30th. How does it feel in your body when you speak that? Some of you feel excitement. Some of you feel resistance. That resistance is only the voice of fear, but the decree overrides fear when spoken consistently. Let me share another testimony. Years ago, a man I knew needed $50,000 to complete a real estate project. Banks had closed their doors. Investors said no. He felt stuck. But instead of panicking, he remembered the law of supply. He wrote down, I call $50,000 for my project delivered before closing day. Every morning he declared it. Every night he sealed it with thanksgiving. Days passed, nothing. His friends mocked him, but on the very morning of the deadline, his phone rang. An acquaintance who had heard about his project months earlier called unexpectedly. I don't know why, but I want to invest in this with you. The exact $50,000. Delivered not early, not late, but right on time. That is the precision of the warehouse. The order form was clear and the supply was released. Here is what I want you to remember. Just because you do not see it, yet does not mean it is not already prepared. When you place an Amazon order, you don't panic after 5 minutes saying, "Where's my package?" You trust the process. You know it's moving. The same is true for decrees. Once spoken, once written, once declared, your word goes forth like an order slip. The warehouse of heaven is activated. The invisible begins moving toward the visible. Your role is not to worry how it will come, but to keep your decree clear and steady until it arrives. Close your eyes with me now. Take a deep breath. Imagine yourself walking into a vast warehouse. The ceilings are high, stretching beyond sight. The shelves are endless, filled with everything you could ever need. You walk down an aisle marked finances. You see boxes labeled $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. Each one is already weighted, tagged with your name. You pick one up. Feel its weight in your hands. Smell the freshness of new bills, crisp and clean. Hear the rustle as you imagine counting them. Now say aloud, "This belongs to me. I call it forth now." Florence Scovel said, "If one asks for success and prepares for failure, he will get the situation he is prepared for." That is why vague words produce vague results. That is why precise decrees release precise provision. When you call money by name, you are not begging. You are summoning what is already in storage. You are claiming your rightful inheritance. Say it again with me, "I call my supply now." I call it by name, and it comes to me with speed, with accuracy, with perfect timing. Now in the next segment, we will go deeper. Because a single decree is powerful, but it is the rhythm of repetition that builds the drumbeat of manifestation. Just as a heartbeat sustains life, your daily words sustain supply. But before we move on, I want you to comment below type 1 if you have already written your decree. Type 2 if you have never done this before, but today you are starting. This act of public declaration is your first step into the rhythm of wealth. Beloved, let us move from the mystery of the warehouse to the music of manifestation. If the decree is the order form, then repetition is the drumbeat that carries it from the invisible into the visible. One decree is powerful, but it is the rhythm of repetition that breaks open the heavens. Your heart beats steadily day and night. It does not beat once and then stop. It carries life through rhythm. Wealth responds the same way. It is not a single decree spoken once and forgotten. It is the steady pulse of repeated words until the invisible becomes solid. Think of a drum. Boom, boom, boom. Each strike may seem small, but together they form rhythm, momentum, power. When you repeat your decree, you are striking the drum of the universe. You are setting a vibration into motion. The rhythm grows stronger until it shakes loose what is already yours. Florence Scovel called this persistence. She wrote, "By your word, you impress the subconscious mind and bring your good into manifestation." The subconscious does not change with one whisper. It changes with rhythm, with steady decree. Let me tell you a story. A man once told me, "I have spoken affirmations before, but nothing happened." I asked, "How many times did you repeat them?" He said, "For 3 days." 3 days is not rhythm. That is a flicker. Rhythm is daily, consistent, unwavering. I gave him a challenge for 21 days. Declare, morning and night, I call in $5,000 in perfect timing for the good of all concerned. He did it faithfully, day after day, even when nothing changed on the outside. On day 15, he received a check from an overpayment he had made years earlier. On day 21, a new client signed a contract with him, combined $5,000 exactly. He looked at me wide-eyed. It worked. I smiled. It always works. The drumbeat never fails when it is steady. Imagine water flowing over rock. One drop does not change the stone, but steady flow carves a path. Your words work the same way. Each decree is a drop, each repetition another stream, until the subconscious and the universe are carved into alignment with your desire. This is why Scripture says faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing the word. Not once, but hearing again and again. Repetition transforms your inner climate. At first, your mind may resist. This isn't real. But as the rhythm continues, the mind softens, belief grows, and the decree becomes a natural thought. That is when supply rushes in, because the inner and outer have aligned. Let's make this tangible. I want you to actually clap with me now. Clap once, boom. Clap again, boom. Now clap in rhythm, boom, boom, boom. That rhythm carries energy. That rhythm builds momentum. So does your decree. Say this with me not once, but 3 times in rhythm. I call in $10,000 by September 30th. Again, I call in $10,000 by September 30th. One more time. I call in $10,000 by September 30th. Do you feel the energy increase with each repetition? That is the law of rhythm. The enemy of manifestation is not lack of supply, it is lack of persistence. Many stop too soon. They decree once see no result and quit. But rhythm silences resistance. The more you repeat, the less power doubt has. Fear may whisper, it's not working. But your steady drumbeat says it is done. It is done. It is done. Until fear grows tired and leaves the room. Florence Scovel said, "Never give up. The tide will turn, and turn it does for those who stay in rhythm." Here is your practice. For the next 21 days, every morning and every night, declare the same decree. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Repeat it until your voice feels like the steady heartbeat of supply. Your decree may be, I call $10,000 by September 30th. Or I call my debts canceled, my bills paid, my wallet overflowing. Or I call new clients, perfect contracts, steady streams of income. The words are yours. The law is the same. Rhythm unlocks results. Close your eyes now. Place your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. Steady, persistent, life-giving. Now whisper your decree in rhythm with your heartbeat. Speak it not once, but in flow. With each beat, I call my supply. I call my supply. I call my supply. Your body, your breath, your words become one rhythm. The invisible begins to vibrate with your decree. Here is what I want you to do now. Write in the comments, type day 1 if you are ready to begin this rhythm with us. If you have already been repeating, type day strong to show your persistence. Because when you declare together, the rhythm grows stronger. Collective decree multiplies the drum beat. But first mark this day as the beginning of your rhythm. The steady drumbeat of your decree will not fail. Beloved, by now you know the warehouse is full. You know that rhythm releases provision. But there is one more barrier that must be addressed: the voice of fear. Fear is the great thief. It stands at the door of your house, rattling the knob, whispering threats, demanding entry. It tells you, what if the money doesn't come? What if the bills pile higher? What if you fail? Fear is relentless, but fear has one weakness. It has no authority of its own. It only borrows authority when you agree with it. And that is why the law of declaration is stronger than fear. For the spoken word carries authority, the kind that overrides every lie, every whisper, every thief at the door. Imagine this scene with me. It is midnight. You are inside your home, safe and warm. Suddenly, you hear footsteps outside. A thief rattles your doorknob. He has no key. He has no right to enter. But he is bold enough to try. Now imagine you do nothing. You stay silent. The thief grows louder. You grow more afraid. The silence gives him courage. But now imagine you rise up. You throw open the window and declare with a commanding voice, "You have no power here. Get away." The thief flees. Not because you fought him with your hands, but because you used the authority of your voice. Fear is that thief. It has no legal right to your supply. But if you stay silent, it will torment you. If you speak with authority, it vanishes. Too many people face fear with timid words. They whisper, "I hope it works. I wish I could believe. Maybe something will come." But timid speech has no authority. It does not scare the thief. Now listen to the contrast. When you stand tall, shoulders back, and speak with fire, fear you have no power here. I override you with faith. I override you with authority. My supply is guaranteed. The atmosphere shifts. The thief runs. The decree is heard in heaven, and the warehouse releases provision. Florence Scovel said fear is only inverted faith. It is faith in evil instead of good. That is why fear must be spoken to, commanded, and overridden. Let me share a testimony. A woman once told me she was days away from losing her home. The notice was on her door. Fear gripped her so tightly she could barely breathe. I said to her, "You must speak to fear itself, not just to the situation. Stand in your living room and decree aloud, 'Fear, you are a liar. I will not lose my home. Supply arrives for me now.'" She trembled, but she did it. She shouted until her own voice startled her. That very afternoon, she received a call. A family member, unaware of her crisis, offered to cover her rent for the month. Fear had fled. Supply had arrived. The warehouse had been waiting. But fear was blocking her from opening the door. Authority broke the lock. "I want you to try this with me. Yes, out loud, right where you are. Say, 'Fear, I see you, but you have no power here. I override you with my decree. My money comes, my bills are paid, my life is supplied, it is done.' Say it again, stronger this time. 'Fear, you have no power here. My supply is guaranteed.'" Feel the shift in your chest. Feel how your spine straightens, how your breath deepens. That is authority rising. That is you stepping into your divine command. Right now, I want you to hear the suspense in your own life, the tension of waiting, the whisper of fear, the doubt at the door. Hold that image. Now break it with your voice. Declare with me, "I override fear. I call my money by name. I walk in abundance now." Do you feel the tension break? Do you sense the atmosphere shift? That is exactly how this law works. Suspense is replaced with certainty. Weakness is replaced with victory. Why does this work? Because the voice is creative. Scripture says, "Life and death are in the power of the tongue," not the mind, not the wish, the tongue. When fear shouts in your head, answer it with your mouth. Your spoken decree carries authority over thought. It overrides the noise of the mind with the certainty of command. This is why silence is dangerous. If you do not speak, fear fills the vacuum. But if you speak with authority, fear has no place to stand. Recognize the thief. When anxiety arises, name it as fear, not as truth. Confront aloud. Speak directly. "Fear, you are a liar. You have no power here." Replace with decree. Follow with your order form. "I call $10,000 by September 30th. It arrives in perfect timing." Repeat, until peace comes. Keep speaking until your body relaxes, until the fear has left the room. This is not about denial. It is about dominion. A businessman once told me he had lost his biggest client. Fear screamed, "Your company is finished." He almost believed it. But instead of agreeing, he stood in his office and declared, "Fear, you are dismissed." Clients multiply for me. My business prospers. The next week, 2 new contracts arrived, both larger than the one he had lost. Fear had prophesied failure. Authority had summoned supply. Close your eyes with me. Hear the sound of suspense, the ticking clock, the whispers of fear. Your chest feels tight. Now take a breath. Speak aloud. Fear, leave now. You have no power here. My supply is here. My abundance is guaranteed. As you speak, imagine the sound of suspense fading, replaced by a triumphant anthem. Strings swell, drums pound. Victory fills the room. That is the sound of authority overriding fear. Beloved, today you learned that fear is a thief, but your decree is stronger. You have authority in your voice. Now, we must take one more step, because it is not enough to speak outwardly with authority. Your inner voice must agree. Double-mindedness cancels decrees. In the next block, I will show you how to align your inner and outer speech so your stream of supply flows unhindered. But before we move forward, I want you to declare publicly, comment, "Fear has no power here," if you have spoken with authority today. Or comment, "I will speak it until fear flees," if you are choosing to practice this daily. Your decree has overridden fear. Your authority has unlocked supply. Beloved, you now know how to order from the warehouse. You know how to beat the drum of repetition. You know how to override fear with authority. But there is one more law. We must master the law of alignment. For even the strongest decree loses its power if your inner and outer speech do not agree. Scripture tells us, "A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Let not that man think he shall receive anything." What does double-mindedness mean? It is when your mouth says one thing, but your heart whispers another. It is when by day you declare abundance, but by night you mutter, "I'll never make it." This cancels the decree. It is like planting seeds in the soil, then digging them up each night to check if they are growing. No crop can flourish that way. Imagine a farmer who plants corn. Every morning he places seeds into the earth, but every evening he digs them up just to see if they are sprouting. By the end of the season, he has nothing. Why? Because he did not trust the process. His inner doubt canceled his outer planting. Your decrees are seeds. If you keep digging them up with words of worry, they will not grow. Now picture a mountain stream, clear, strong, flowing straight to the valley. That is aligned speech, inner belief, and outer word flowing in one direction. But if rocks block the stream, the water becomes divided, chaotic, shallow. That is double-mindedness. One day faith, the next day fear. One moment decree, the next moment doubt. Supply flows best when the stream runs clear, when your heart and your mouth agree. A woman once told me she was declaring prosperity, but nothing changed. I asked, "What do you say when you're with your friends?" She paused and confessed, "I complain about being broke." There was the block. Her outer decree and her casual speech were at war. She was planting seeds in the morning and pulling them out by lunchtime. I told her, every word counts. Do not joke about lack. Do not confess failure. Align every word with your decree. She obeyed. Within weeks, her finances shifted. Why? Because the stream of her speech was no longer divided. It is not only about what you say aloud, it is also about what you say within. If you declare, "I call $10,000, but your inner voice whispers, "That will never happen," the decree is weakened. This is why repetition matters, because steady outer words begin to retrain the inner voice. When spoken often enough, the decree moves from lips to heart. It becomes belief. And when heart and mouth agree, supply rushes in like a flood. Right now, I want you to test your alignment. Speak this aloud: "I call $10,000 by September 30th. Now pause. Listen inward. What does your inner voice say back? Does it echo agreement? Yes, it is done. Or does it whisper doubt? I don't believe it. If you heard doubt, do not condemn yourself. Simply repeat the decree until your inner voice grows quiet, until it begins to echo belief. That is alignment being born. One of the greatest leaks of power is casual speech. Many decree wealth in prayer, but joke about poverty in conversation. "I'm broke. I can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. Beloved, every word is a seed. Do not plant weeds and expect roses. Speak only what you want to harvest." Replace every casual, lax statement with a prosperity declaration. Instead of "I'm broke," say "I am rich in supply." Instead of "I can't afford that," say "Money flows to me for every good thing." Instead of "That's impossible," say "All things are possible in my supply." This is alignment. I want you to take this part gently. Do not beat yourself up for past words. Simply notice them and begin shifting. Alignment is a practice, not a punishment. It is like tuning an instrument. You tighten the strings until the sound is clear. Each day, listen to your words. Ask, "Do they align with my decree?" If not, gently retune. Over time, your entire life will begin to sound like music. Close your eyes. Imagine a mountain stream, clear and steady. Hear the sound of water rushing over smooth stones. This is your speech when aligned inner and outer voice flowing as one. Now imagine rocks tumbling into the stream, doubt, fear, casual words of lack. The water splinters, the flow weakens. Now see yourself removing the rocks one by one. Each rock is replaced with a decree: "I am supplied. My money comes on time. I live in abundance. The stream grows strong again. The flow is clear." That is alignment. A man once shared that for years he declared prosperity, but always added, "if it's God's will." That inner doubt canceled his decree. I told him, "It is always the will of the divine for you to be supplied. Say it without condition." He shifted his words. He aligned inner certainty with outer decree. Within months, he received a job offer doubling his salary. The stream had been cleared and supply rushed in. Beloved, many of you ask, if the warehouse is full, if decrees are so powerful, why do I still face trials? Why do bills arrive faster than money? Why does debt knock before abundance does? The answer is not that you have failed, nor that heaven has forgotten you. The truth is, financial trials are not punishments, they are training grounds. They are opportunities for you to practice authority, to exercise decree, and to prove the law. Every bill that comes in the mail is not a curse, but an invitation. It is heaven saying, "Here is another chance to command provision. Here is another place to prove your authority." Florence Scovel wrote, "Man's word is his wand filled with magic and power." When a bill arrives, you can mutter, "I'll never pay this." Or you can lift your wand and declare, "I call in this amount." It is paid in full on time with ease. The bill is not your enemy. It is your training partner. Let me tell you a story. A woman once came to me weeping. Her landlord had given her 3 days' notice. She had no money. Fear screamed that she would be homeless. I looked her in the eyes and said, "This is your training ground. Stand and decree I will not be moved. I call $1-800 for rent paid before the deadline." She obeyed, though trembling. She repeated the decree every hour. On the final day, with only hours left, her phone rang. A distant cousin, unaware of her crisis, said, "I don't know why, but I feel led to send you money." The exact $1,800, arriving 1 hour before eviction. Her trial became her testimony. Without resistance, muscles never grow. Without trials, authority is never proven. If everything arrived instantly, you would never learn persistence, never learn alignment, never discover your true dominion. Trials reveal your strength. They prove that your decree is stronger than fear, stronger than debt, stronger than circumstance. Do not despise the trial. Use it as the gymnasium of your spirit. Every bill, every debt, every crisis is a weight you lift with your words until you grow strong. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this training me to decree?" When a bill comes, I decree payment in full. When debt rises, I decree cancellation and overflow. When crisis looms, I decree supply now on time and abundance. Reframe the problem as a practice ground. Trials are not here to destroy you. They are here to reveal that you cannot be destroyed. A man once told me he had $20,000 of credit card debt. He lived in shame, thinking the trial proved he was unworthy. I told him, "No, this is your training ground. Everyday decree, I call $20,000 canceled, cleared, removed from my record." He did so faithfully. Months passed. Then suddenly he received a letter one of his creditors had forgiven his balance entirely. Weeks later, another debt was consolidated into a settlement for pennies on the dollar. Within the year, all $20,000 was gone. His debt was not a curse. It was the gym that trained him to stand and decree until supply answered. Right now, I want you to imagine a bill in your hand. See the numbers on the page. Feel the weight of it. Now lift your other hand as though holding a wand. Speak with me. I call this amount paid in full, on time, in ease. This is my training ground, and I pass the test. Supply answers me now. Feel the shift. What was once a weight becomes a testimony in progress. Some of you are in the middle of a trial right now. You feel the tension of deadlines, the pressure of bills, the fear of lack. Hold that feeling. Do not deny it, acknowledge it. Now break it with decree. Speak aloud, "This is not my end. This is my training ground. I decree abundance. I decree payment. I decree overflow. My supply arrives now." Did you feel the relief? The weight begins to lift when the decree is spoken. That is the law in action. Every financial miracle you will ever share begins as a trial. You cannot have a testimony without a test. When you look back years from now, the story that inspires others will not be, "I had no problems." It will be, "I faced eviction, but I decreed supply and abundance came on time." Your trial today is the seed of someone else's faith tomorrow. Name the crisis. Identify the exact amount or situation. Decree with authority. Speak the amount specifically. Repeat until peace. Rhythm dissolves fear. Give thanks in advance. Gratitude seals the decree. Watch for sudden provision. It will come often at the last moment. Close your eyes. Imagine a pile of bills before you. See them as mountains, tall and heavy. Feel the tension in your chest. Now imagine speaking aloud. With each decree, the bills begin to glow with light. One by one, they dissolve, replaced by receipts stamped paid in full. Now imagine standing atop those mountains, arms raised, declaring, "Every trial has become my testimony. Every bill has become my blessing." That is your reality in the making. Beloved, trials do not mean the law has failed. Trials mean you are being trained in the law. Every crisis is a classroom, every bill a blackboard, every debt an exercise in authority. But before we move forward, I want you to declare publicly type 1 if you are in a trial right now and you are ready to decree through it. Type 2 if you have already seen a trial turn into a testimony. Either way, you are being trained for victory. Beloved, we have traveled far in this journey. We have opened the warehouse of heaven, learned the rhythm of repetition, overridden fear with authority, aligned our speech, and reframed trials as training grounds. Now it is time to embed everything into your life through practice. Not theory, not philosophy, practice. I call this the 21-day spoken word sequence. For 3 weeks, you will step into rhythm, authority, alignment, and training until your words become a living force. This is not only about calling in one miracle, it is about reprogramming your entire atmosphere to expect provision. Scientists say it takes 21 days to shift a pattern in the mind. Spiritually, 21 represents breakthrough after delay. Daniel prayed for 21 days before the angel broke through with his answer. For 21 days, you will decree daily. Your words will strike the drum. Your rhythm will override fear. Your alignment will become natural. And at the end, your life will not be the same. Here is the sequence. Upon waking, stand before a mirror. Take a deep breath, smile, and declare aloud. Each morning, I reset my reality. Money hears my first words. I call specific amount by specific date, in perfect timing, in perfect channels. Say it 3 times in rhythm with your heartbeat. At lunchtime, pause for 1 minute. Place your hand on your chest. Repeat your decree once more. Example, I call $10,000 by September 30th. It comes to me now. This is the heartbeat that keeps the flow steady. Before bed, write your decree once in your journal. Speak it aloud, followed by thanksgiving. Thank you, divine source, that my supply is here. I rest in abundance. Then release it, knowing the warehouse is processing your order as you sleep. One decree may spark the order, but 21 days of decree carves the channel. It reprograms your subconscious, clears your inner voice, aligns your outer speech, and multiplies your authority. Consistency is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. A woman once followed this exact sequence. She was in desperate need of $7,500. Each morning, she declared it. Each afternoon, she whispered it. Each night, she sealed it with gratitude. At first, nothing happened. Day 5, silence. Day 10, still nothing. But by day 14, a job offer came. By day 19, a friend unexpectedly returned a loan she had forgotten. By day 21, her total supply was not $7,500, but $8,200. The rhythm had worked. The consistency had carved the channel. Now imagine not just one person, but hundreds, thousands joining in this rhythm together. A collective decree amplifies the vibration. It becomes a chorus, a drum circle, a wave of faith. That is why I am inviting you not only to do this alone, but to do it with us. To join this 21-day decree journey as a community. Let us practice right now. Take a deep breath. Place your hand over your heart. Say with me, day 1 begins now. I call my supply. I call your amount by your date. I declare it, I believe it, I receive it. It is done. Say it again, stronger. Day 1 begins now. My supply is guaranteed. Feel the shift. You have already begun. Many give up on day 7 or day 10. That is when fear whispers, it's not working. Remember, the warehouse may be processing. The package is already en route. The decree has already gone forth. Your only task is to keep the rhythm, Fear cannot survive 21 days of consistent authority. Doubt cannot endure a steady stream of decree. Here is your 21-day spoken word checklist. Morning mirror, breath, decree X3. Midday, hand on chest, decree X1. Evening journal, decree X1, gratitude. Close your eyes, imagine a small seed planted in soil. On day 1, nothing is visible. Day 5, still hidden. Day 10, the soil begins to shift. Day 14, a small sprout emerges. Day 21, a full plant has broken through the surface, vibrant and alive. Your decree is that seed. Each day is watering sunlight nourishment. By day 21, you will see life where there was once only soil. Say with me now as we close this sequence. For the next 21 days, I will speak with rhythm, with authority, with alignment, and with faith. I call my supply. I receive my abundance. I walk in overflow. It is done. This is not only the end of this teaching, it is the beginning of your decree journey. Together we will fill the air with words of power, and the warehouse of heaven will overflow with deliveries. The law is simple. Your word is your wand. And now for 21 days, you will wield it with authority. Your package is already on the way. Beloved soul, pause for a moment. Take a deep, slow breath in. Hold it gently. And now release. Again, inhale. Hold and let go. As you breathe, let your body settle into the truth that is waiting to rise within you. You are not here to chase wealth. You are not here to strive for riches. You are not here to plead, to beg, or to wonder if it will ever be your turn. No, beloved one. You are here to embody wealth itself. Say these words softly, like a gentle stream flowing from your lips. I am wealth. I walk as wealth. I live as wealth. And again, more firmly now, with the authority that has always been yours, I am wealth. I walk as wealth. I live as wealth. Feel how your body begins to align. Your shoulders rest differently. Your heart stands taller. Your face carries light. You are not merely speaking words. You are clothing yourself with the very fabric of wealth. Imagine yourself now entering a room. Perhaps it is a hall of gathering, perhaps a quiet chamber, perhaps a space filled with strangers. Do you notice the atmosphere changes as you step across the threshold? Without a word, people feel it. They cannot quite explain it, but they know wealth has arrived. Not the wealth that clings to coins and fears their loss. Not the wealth that postures, proving itself with jewels or displays. No, this is a deeper current, a river running beneath appearances. It is presence. It is ease. It is quiet dominion. You move without hurry, for there is no lack to chase. You speak with calmness, for your words carry weight. You look into the eyes of others, and they see reflected back the truth of their own possibility. Whisper it now. When I enter, wealth enters. When I move, wealth moves. When I speak, wealth speaks. Let the words circle you, wrapping you in a robe of light. Feel the texture of it, smooth, soft, luminous. See yourself robed in abundance, crowned with peace, clothed in certainty. Wealth is not an ornament, it is an atmosphere. It is not an act, it is an identity. And now, beloved, you are learning not only to speak it, but to become it. Think of the great oak tree. It does not strain to appear mighty. It does not announce itself. It stands rooted, full abundant, stretching into the sky. So too shall you stand. Say it with me now. I am rooted in wealth. I am expanded in wealth. I am established in wealth. Let your breath match your words. Inhale as you say, I am rooted in wealth. Exhale as you declare, I am expanded in wealth. Rest in the stillness as you affirm, I am established in wealth. Again, let the rhythm settle into your being, rooted, expanded, established. Now visualize your day not as one chasing after supply, but as one who walks already complete. When you wake, the air greets you with sufficiency. When you step outside the ground, it self-affirms, "Here walks wealth." When you sit to work, your hands create with authority, not with fear. When you rest, you do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow is already secured. Say this gently but with trust. Everything I need flows to me because I am wealth in form. Do you feel it? The shift from asking to being. This is the turning point of embodiment. This is where desire ceases to be longing and becomes recognition. You no longer say, "I want wealth." You now decree, "I am wealth." You no longer whisper, "May wealth come." You now affirm, "Wealth moves with me." You no longer cry, "If only I had." You now declare, "All I require appears before I call." Close your eyes, beloved one. Imagine a golden light beginning at the crown of your head. It flows downward through your mind, through your words, through your chest, through your belly, through your legs, into your feet. This golden light is the truth of wealth, saturating every cell, awakening every dormant part of you. Now envision yourself walking again into that room, but this time see yourself not only clothed in wealth, but radiating it. The golden light extends beyond your body, 5 feet, 10 feet, 20 feet in every direction. An aura of abundance, and all who enter your presence feel it. They may not have words, but their spirits whisper, "Something has shifted. A new atmosphere is here." Say now, "I radiate wealth. I magnetize wealth. I multiply wealth." And with each word, expand that field around you until the entire room glows, until the entire building glows, until your entire life is covered in the radiance of embodied wealth. Beloved soul, you are not practicing to become, you are awakening to what already is. Every step you take today, see yourself walking as wealth personified. Every word you speak today, hear it as the voice of wealth itself. Every glance, every gesture, every breath, let it be wealth breathing through you. Say it one last time with all your heart, "I am wealth. I walk as wealth. I live as wealth." And let this truth rest upon you, sealing itself deep within your being. Beloved soul, pause for a moment. Take a deep, slow breath in. Hold it gently. And now release. Again, inhale, hold, and let go. As you breathe, let your body settle into the truth that is waiting to rise within you. You are not here to chase wealth. You are not here to strive for riches. You are not here to plead, to beg, or to wonder if it will ever be your turn. No, beloved one, you are here to embody wealth itself. Say these words softly, like a gentle stream flowing from your lips. "I am wealth. I walk as wealth. I live as wealth." And again, more firmly now, with the authority that has always been yours, "I am wealth. I walk as wealth. I live as wealth." Feel how your body begins to align. Your shoulders rest differently. Your heart stands taller. Your face carries light. You are not merely speaking words. You are clothing yourself with the very fabric of wealth. Now imagine yourself entering a room. Perhaps it is a hall of gathering, perhaps a quiet chamber, perhaps a space filled with strangers. Do you notice the atmosphere changes as you step across the threshold? Without a word, people feel it. They cannot quite explain it, but they know wealth has arrived. Not the wealth that clings to coins and fears their loss. Not the wealth that postures proving itself with jewels or displays. No, this is a deeper current, a river running beneath appearances. It is presence, It is ease, it is quiet dominion. You move without hurry, for there is no lack to chase. You speak with calmness, for your words carry weight. You look into the eyes of others, and they see reflected back the truth of their own possibility. Whisper it now. When I enter, wealth enters. When I move, wealth moves. When I speak, wealth speaks. Let the words circle you, wrapping you in a robe of light. Feel the texture of it, smooth, soft, luminous. See yourself robed in abundance, crowned with peace, clothed in certainty. Wealth is not an ornament, it is an atmosphere. It is not an act, it is an identity. And now, beloved, you are learning not only to speak it, but to become it. Think of the great oak tree. It does not strain to appear mighty. It does not announce itself. It stands rooted, full, abundant, stretching into the sky. So too shall you stand. Say it with me now. I am rooted in wealth. I am expanded in wealth. I am established in wealth. Let your breath match your words. Inhale as you say, I am rooted in wealth. Exhale as you declare, I am expanded in wealth. Rest in the stillness as you affirm, I am established in wealth. Again, let the rhythm settle into your being. Rooted, expanded, established. Now visualize your day not as one chasing after supply, but as one who walks already complete. When you wake, the air greets you with sufficiency. When you step outside the ground, itself affirms, here walks wealth. When you sit to work, your hands create with authority, not with fear. When you rest, you do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow is already secured. Say this gently, but with trust. Everything I need flows to me because I am wealth in form. Do you feel it? The shift from asking to being. This is the turning point of embodiment. This is where desire ceases to be longing and becomes recognition. You no longer say, I want wealth. You now decree, I am wealth. You no longer whisper, may wealth come. You now affirm, wealth moves with me. You no longer cry, if only I had. You now declare, all I require appears before I call. Close your eyes, beloved one. Imagine a golden light beginning at the crown of your head. It flows downward through your mind, through your words, through your chest, through your belly, through your legs, into your feet. This golden light is the truth of wealth, saturating every cell, awakening every dormant part of you. Now, envision yourself walking again into that room. But this time, see yourself not only clothed in wealth, but radiating it. The golden light extends beyond your body 5 feet, 10 feet, 20 feet in every direction. An aura of abundance. And all who enter your presence feel it. They may not have words, but their spirits whisper, something has shifted. A new atmosphere is here. Say now, I radiate wealth. I magnetize wealth. I multiply wealth. And with each word, expand that field around you until the entire room glows, until the entire building glows, until your entire life is covered in the radiance of embodied wealth. Beloved soul, you are not practicing to become, you are awakening to what already is. Every step you take today, see yourself walking as wealth personified. Every word you speak today, hear it as the voice of wealth itself. Every glance, every gesture, every breath, let it be wealth breathing through you. Say it one last time with all your heart, I am wealth. I walk as wealth. I live as wealth. And let this truth rest upon you, sealing itself deep within your being. Beloved one, pause again and listen not to me, but to yourself. Notice how every word that leaves your lips lingers in the atmosphere around you. Just as incense fills a room with its fragrance, your speech fills your home, your body, your relationships, and your life with its invisible essence. Think of this when you light a single stick of incense. Its fragrance drifts into every corner of the room. It clings to curtains, it settles into clothing, it softens the air. Long after the flame is gone, the scent remains. So it is with words. You speak them once, and they settle into the unseen fabric of your reality, remaining, echoing, shaping. Say softly, "My words are incense. My speech is atmosphere. I live in abundance because I speak abundance." Imagine yourself waking in the morning. Instead of sighing or rushing into complaint, you greet the day with words of wealth. You whisper, "Good morning, prosperity. Good morning, abundance. Good morning, overflowing good." And the day answers you. The air itself shifts like curtains opening to let in sunlight. The tone of your morning sets the fragrance of your whole day. At the table before you eat, you bless your meal not out of habit, but out of truth. You say, "This food multiplies in me strength, joy, and abundance. I am well nourished. I am well provided for. I am wealthy in every way." Can you see how simple words turn a meal into a banquet? Can you feel how blessing your bread transforms it into holy provision? Throughout your day, beloved, your speech becomes the perfume of prosperity. When you meet others, instead of greeting them with casual habit, you greet them with blessing. You say peace to you, prosperity to you. May your steps be guided by wealth today. Each greeting becomes a seed. Each blessing becomes a fragrance left in the air long after you have walked away. People may not even realize it at first, but they feel lighter in your presence. Why? Because your words have perfumed the atmosphere. Say now with me, "My words bless. My words uplift. My words create wealth." Now see your money itself. Whether it is a single coin, a folded note, or numbers in your account, do not let them be silent. Speak to them as living companions. Whisper over your purse or wallet, "You are blessed and you multiply." When you give, say, "This money goes forth and returns multiplied." When you receive, say, "This money enters an atmosphere of wealth and it grows." Beloved, do not underestimate this. Your words are the climate that determines whether seeds of prosperity grow or wither. Lack cannot live long in an atmosphere saturated with words of abundance. Consider this: if you entered a house filled with fragrant roses, you would carry that fragrance with you when you left. In the same way, when your home is filled with affirmations of prosperity, all who enter it will carry that atmosphere outward into the world. Walk through your rooms now in your imagination. See yourself touching the walls, blessing them. This house is filled with wealth. Every corner breathes prosperity. Every window opens to opportunity. In the bedroom, declare, "Here I rest in abundance. Here I dream in wealth." In the kitchen, decree, "Here my meals are prepared in plenty. Here my table is always full." In the living space, affirm, "Here conversations are prosperous. Here love multiplies. Here wealth is welcomed." Can you feel it? The air growing heavy with fragrance? This is the atmosphere of words. Now, beloved one, think of your speech not just as fragrance, but as music. Imagine that every word you speak plays a note in the unseen symphony of your life. Some people fill their atmosphere with discordant notes of fear, worry, and lack, and their lives sound like noise. But you are composing a melody of abundance. Every declaration of wealth is like a harp string plucked, filling the air with harmony. Every blessing is like a bell ringing, sending ripples of sound across the day. Every decree is like a drumbeat, steady and strong, reminding you of your foundation. Say with me, my words are harmony. My words are music. My words sing wealth into being. It is not enough, beloved, to think wealth, you must speak it continually. For thought is the seed, but speech is the water. Thought is the spark, but speech is the flame. And so you learn to create an atmosphere where abundance cannot help but manifest. Your home becomes saturated. Your relationships become infused. Even your silence carries fragrance because you have spoken so richly that your atmosphere remembers your words. Let us practice together, layering affirmation upon affirmation until the room where you now sit is thick with wealth's atmosphere. Speak aloud with rhythm, with certainty. I breathe abundance. I speak abundance. I live in abundance. I bless my home. I bless my work. I bless my wealth. My words are perfume. My words are seed. My words are law. Beloved, as incense curls upward, so do your words rise and linger. Let them be sweet. Let them be powerful. Let them be unshakable. For you are wealth personified, and the atmosphere you create is your unending demonstration. Breathe deeply now, sensing the air around you transformed. Feel how it is no longer empty. It is rich, full, fragrant, alive. This is your daily practice. This is your daily dominion. You are no longer only living in a house, you are living in an atmosphere of spoken wealth. Say once more, sealing it into the atmosphere of this very moment, my words are wealth. My words are life. My words create my world. And so it is. Beloved soul, there are stories written in your blood. Stories whispered by ancestors you may never have met. Stories carried through generations. Some of these stories are filled with courage, love, and triumph. But some are stories of lack, of fear, of survival without abundance. And though you did not choose these patterns, they may have shaped the atmosphere into which you were born. Yet hear this truth: you are the one chosen to write a new story. Say softly, as if lighting a candle in the darkness, wealth begins with me. Abundance flows through me. Generations are blessed because of me. Picture now a great tree, its roots deep in the soil, its branches stretching upward. This tree represents your family line. You may see strong limbs bearing fruit, but perhaps also branches twisted with struggle, leaves withered by fear, roots tangled in lack. Yet do not despair, for you are the gardener, the pruner, the nourisher. You stand before this tree not helpless but powerful. With the words you speak, you prune what no longer serves, and you call forth new life. Say it with strength. Every generational pattern of lack is cut off from me now. I decree the old cycle is ended and a new cycle begins with me. I plant the seeds of prosperity for generations to come. Imagine in your hands a golden pair of shears, not physical, but spiritual. These shears are your words. With each decree you prune, you speak, and twisted branches of fear fall away. You affirm, and diseased leaves of doubt crumble to dust. You bless, and suddenly, the roots are washed with living water. Visualize yourself saying aloud, I cut off poverty. I cut off fear. I cut off small thinking. Now with tenderness, begin to declare the new growth. I call forth wealth. I call forth abundance. I call forth joy, expansion, and generational prosperity. As you speak, see fresh green shoots bursting forth. Hear the rustle of new leaves. Smell the fragrance of blossoms announcing fruit to come. The tree of your family lineage is being rewritten by your words. There was once a man who said, trembling but firm, wealth begins with me. His parents had struggled, their parents before them had barely survived. But he chose to decree a different ending. Each day, he spoke blessings over his work, over his children, over his home. At first, it seemed small, like watering a barren field. But year after year, his words built an atmosphere of plenty. His children grew in the fragrance of abundance. And long after he passed, his grandchildren testified, "It began with him." Beloved, this is your story too. Say now, with authority, "It begins with me." I am the new branch. I am the tree of abundance. I am the fountain of prosperity for my lineage. Feel the weight of those who came before you, not as a burden, but as a great cloud of witnesses. Some of them wished they could break the cycle, but the revelation was not theirs. They ran as far as they could. But now the baton is in your hands. You are the one who speaks the words that release them and blesses those who come after. Breathe in and declare, "I bless my ancestors with freedom. I bless my descendants with wealth. I stand as the turning point of prosperity." Do you feel it, that solemn yet triumphant energy, the closing of an old chapter, the opening of a new? This is sacred work, beloved. Now see yourself standing at the roots of that family tree. With every affirmation, golden light pours downward into the soil, cleansing, purifying, strengthening. The roots grow deeper, healthier, reaching into the river of divine supply. As the roots are healed, the branches above grow strong and wide. You look, and the tree is now heavy with fruit of wisdom, fruit of wealth, fruit of joy. This fruit is not only for you, it is for your children, your grandchildren, for every hand that reaches toward this tree in generations to come. Because you spoke new words, they will eat abundance instead of lack. They will taste freedom instead of fear. Say aloud, "My words feed generations. My decrees nourish my family tree. My lineage is forever abundant." Pause here, beloved. Breathe deeply. Let tears fall if they must. Let joy rise if it will. You are not merely affirming for yourself. You are shifting the entire atmosphere of those who came before and those who will come after. Say once more, sealing this truth, "I am the turning point. Wealth begins with me, and it never ends." And now, beloved listener, I invite you into action beyond this moment. If you feel the stirring, the resonance, declare it outward. Share it with others so they too may walk in freedom. If you are declaring boldly, "Wealth begins with me," and I cut off every old pattern, then comment one below to seal your testimony. If you are affirming, "I am planting prosperity for generations to come, and my family tree is flourishing," then comment too to release that decree into the atmosphere. This is not only an act of engagement, it is a demonstration. When you put your decree into visible form, you anchor it more deeply into reality. Beloved soul, let your words rewrite history. Let your decrees plant future orchards. Let your tongue become the fountain of generational abundance. Say once more with solemn joy, "Wealth begins with me. Abundance flows through me. Generations are blessed because of me." And it is so. Beloved soul, there is a law woven into the fabric of life. What is shared multiplies. A loaf hidden in one hand feeds only one person. But when that loaf is broken and passed around, somehow miraculously, it multiplies until all are satisfied. Such is the nature of testimony. Your story, your demonstration, your breakthrough, it is not meant to stay locked inside you. It is a loaf that when shared multiplies faith, multiplies courage, multiplies manifestation. Say softly, "When I share, I multiply. When I testify, I expand. When I speak, abundance increases." Imagine now a great treasury, not of coins, but of stories. Each testimony is like a jewel placed within it, a shining diamond of provision, a radiant pearl of answered prayer, a golden coin of unexpected supply. As the treasury fills, it does not diminish. It grows richer with every deposit. Beloved, your words are not only affirmations for yourself, they are testimonies for the community. And when spoken, they become a fountain for others. Let me tell you a parable. There was once a small gathering of souls, each one weary from carrying their private burdens. One woman stood and spoke. I once had nothing, and yet with words of truth, I called abundance into my life. Now I live in freedom. As she spoke, another heart leapt. If it was possible for her, it is possible for me. Then another rose, saying, I too have seen a door open where once there was none. One by one they shared until the room, once heavy, was filled with laughter, tears, and a palpable sense of wealth's presence. What had changed? Only this: they dared to place their testimonies into the treasury of the collective, and abundance multiplied. Beloved one, do not underestimate your own testimony. You may think my story is small, but even the smallest seed carries within it an entire forest. Even the smallest demonstration carries the power to awaken wealth in another. Say it now. My testimony is powerful. My story multiplies. My words inspire abundance. I invite you to remember right now, where has wealth already shown itself in your life? Was there a bill that was paid when you thought it impossible? A gift that arrived at the perfect moment? A job, a client, a friend who brought provision just when it was needed? That, beloved, is testimony. And when you recall it, you strengthen your faith. When you speak it, you strengthen the faith of others. When you share it, you multiply the atmosphere of wealth. Picture this treasury of testimonies as a vast golden chamber. Every time you speak a demonstration, another jewel is added. Every time you celebrate another's testimony, a candle is lit. Soon the chamber glows not with a few dim sparks, but with thousands of lights. This is the collective abundance of all who have walked this path, and you, beloved, are part of it. Say aloud, I add my testimony to the treasury. I shine my light into the chamber. I am part of multiplying abundance. Pause for a moment. Breathe deeply. Feel gratitude for every story of provision that has touched your life. Even the smallest, even the first glimmers. Gratitude is the key that opens the treasury, and once open, the abundance flows freely. Whisper now, I am grateful for what has been. I am grateful for what is. I am grateful for what is coming. Beloved listener, if you feel moved, I invite you not to keep your testimony hidden. Share it. Declare it. Place your jewel in the treasury. You may say it aloud to those around you. You may write it, comment it, speak it into the atmosphere. Every act of sharing strengthens the collective faith. For when one says, I have seen abundance, another heart replies, then so shall I. And so the multiplication continues. The parable of the loaves and fishes teaches us this eternal truth. When we hold tightly, things remain small. When we release, things multiply. So it is with wealth, and so it is with testimony. Say with me now, I release my testimony. I share my wealth. I multiply abundance for all. Beloved, let this be your practice. Each day, recall one testimony. Speak it, celebrate it, add it to the treasury. Soon your life will be so saturated with evidence of abundance that lack will seem like a distant shadow. For your story is not just your own, it is a seed, a spark, a jewel in the treasury of testimonies. And because you dared to share it, the whole world grows richer. Say it one last time. My testimony is treasure. My story is wealth. My words multiply abundance. And so it is. Beloved soul, every morning is a coronation. Every dawn is a throne awaiting you. The moment your eyes open, the universe asks, who will you be today? Will you rule or will you be ruled? And I tell you this truth, you were never born to be ruled by circumstance. You were born to reign with your words, with your decrees, with your dominion. Say now, as though placing a crown upon your head, I am the ruler of my atmosphere. I sit upon the throne of my day. I decree wealth, and it is so. Think of the sunrise. Each day it appears steady, faithful, casting golden light across the earth. It does not ask permission. It does not apologize. It simply rises because rising is its nature. So too must you rise each morning in your authority. Before the voices of fear speak, before the world offers its noise, your words must go forth like the sunrise establishing the day. Say with me, my morning words are law. My decrees shape the day. My tongue sets the course of abundance. Now imagine your bed as a throne. When you wake, you do not stumble into the day, you rise and ascend. You sit tall, shoulders back, heart open as if heaven itself has crowned you. In your hands is a scepter, not of wood or gold, but of speech. Every word you speak is a ruling. Every decree is an order carried out by unseen forces. Whisper it now with reverence. This is my throne of daily dominion. This is my crown of daily decree. This is my scepter of wealth. Practice this ritual, beloved. Upon waking, before your feet touch the floor, speak aloud your rulings. I decree abundance into my day. I decree wealth into my work. I decree prosperity into my path. I decree peace into my mind. I decree joy into my atmosphere. I decree multiplication into my money. I decree favor into my encounters. Let these words flow not as wishes, but as laws. You are not asking, you are commanding. You are not hoping, you are ruling. Consider a king or queen in ancient times. When they spoke, their word was final. When they decreed, servants moved, messengers ran, laws were enacted. So it is with you. Though you may not see them unseen, forces respond to your rulings. Opportunities align, people appear, doors open, supply flows. Say aloud with certainty, my word is law. My decree is fulfilled. My rulings create my reality. Beloved one, many drift through the morning as though powerless. They wait to see what the day will bring, as though the day holds the authority. But you are learning to reverse it. You do not wait for the day to define you. You define the day. As the sun crowns the sky, you crown yourself with speech. As the light spreads across the horizon, your decrees spread across your path. Say this with joy, I rise with the sun. I rule with my word. I walk in daily dominion. Now let us visualize this together. Close your eyes and see the horizon. The first light of dawn begins to glow. Slowly, the golden sun lifts into the sky, and with it, you rise from your bed clothed in radiant light, crowned with divine authority. You hold the scepter of your speech. You sit upon the throne of your life, and you declare aloud, this is my day of wealth. This is my day of increase. This is my day of multiplication. Feel the power of those words ripple outward like sunlight stretching across the land. Every shadow flees, every corner brightens, every pathway is lit. Beloved, your dominion is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is not pride, it is truth. You are designed to rule not with force, but with decree, to shape the unseen with the power of your spoken word. And as you practice this daily, your life takes on a new rhythm. You no longer react, you create. You no longer stumble, you stride. You no longer fear, you reign. Say it firmly, I live as ruler. I speak as ruler. I walk in wealth's dominion. Carry this throne with you throughout the day. Though you leave your bedroom, you never leave your authority. Every conversation is an opportunity to decree blessing. Every action is a chance to affirm abundance. Every moment is a throne where you may sit and rule with words. And when evening comes, do not collapse in defeat. Close the day with decree as well. Say, this day has prospered me. This night restores me. Tomorrow I rise again in dominion. Beloved, the throne of daily dominion is not reserved for the few. It is your inheritance. It is the rhythm of your life. It is the truth of who you are. So rise each morning, crown yourself with words, rule your atmosphere, and let the wealth that is already yours flow forth in demonstration. Say once more, sealing this into your being, I decree abundance. I decree prosperity. I decree dominion. And so it is. Beloved soul, you have walked this path with courage. You have spoken, affirmed, embodied. You have rewritten your lineage, created atmosphere, risen each day upon the throne of dominion. And now it is time to seal this truth into your very being. For a decree once written must be sealed. In ancient days, a king would close his scroll with a drop of wax and press his signet ring upon it. Once sealed, no man could break it. Once sealed, it was established. So now you shall seal your identity, not as one reaching for wealth, not as one chasing after abundance, but as wealth itself. Say with me, I am wealth. I live in wealth. I move in wealth. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine before you a great scroll written in golden ink. Upon it are all the affirmations you have spoken. The lines shine with phrases such as I am wealth personified. My words create abundance. I rule my day with decree. My lineage flourishes in prosperity. Now imagine a drop of molten wax falling upon the edge of this scroll. It glows red gold, and upon your hand is the ring of divine authority. Press it into the wax. Seal it. Establish it. Finalize it. Say it again, slowly, I am wealth. I live in wealth. I move in wealth. Let these words cycle, beloved, until they echo not just in your mind, but in your breath, your heartbeat, your very cells. I am wealth. I live in wealth. I move in wealth. Again, I am wealth. I live in wealth. I move in wealth. Feel how your body changes as you say this. Notice how your spine lengthens, your chest opens, your face softens. Wealth is no longer outside you. It is you. It is not a possession. It is your essence. Beloved, this is the great secret when you become wealth. Wealth cannot leave you. When you embody abundance, abundance cannot be taken away. When you are prosperity itself, lack cannot attach to you. Say now with authority, I am inseparable from wealth. I am unshakable in wealth. I am sealed in wealth forever. Now let us anchor this sealing through visualization. See yourself walking through your life as it is now. Your home, your work, your relationships. But notice everything you touch glows with golden light. Every word you speak leaves a trail of abundance. Every step you take leaves behind footprints of prosperity. And then see yourself years into the future. Your life has expanded. Your wealth has multiplied. Your influence has grown. And yet you are not striving, you are simply being. You are wealth embodied, personified, sealed. And now see generations ahead. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren walking in freedom because you sealed this truth today. They do not labor under lack, for lack no longer has a place in your lineage. They live in overflow because you established the decree. Say softly, "It is sealed in me. It is sealed in them. It is sealed forever." Beloved, soul wealth is not fragile. It is not fleeting. When sealed as identity, it is eternal. So let us cycle the final affirmations together, layering them like rings of strength around your being. I am wealth. I live in wealth. I move in wealth. I think in wealth. I speak in wealth. I rest in wealth. I rise in wealth. I am sealed in wealth forever. Breathe deeply now. Rest in the silence. Let the seal settle. Let it cool and harden like wax upon the scroll. It is finished. It is established. It is yours. From this day forward, you no longer chase. You no longer hope. You no longer plead. You live as wealth. You breathe as wealth. You are wealth itself. Say one last time with all the authority of heaven, I am wealth. I live in wealth. I move in wealth. I am sealed in wealth forever. And so it is.